Just get started. Just get started. The longest time in the world is the hesitation between thought and action. You can hesitate for 1 second to get started on something, a workout, a project, a task, something that you know you should do. And then just like that, you drifted into the eternity zone. 1 second became an eternity because something that was gonna happen is now never gonna happen, ever. Why is that? Because you hesitated. You hesitated. So don't take that chance. Instead, take action. Take action. A body in motion tends to stay in motion. A body at rest tends to stay at rest. You've had enough damn rest. Go take action.
The difference between successful people and non-successful people is here. You have to change this. So if you're at a place in your life and you ain't happy with it, you have to change some things. But you have to make a conscientious decision that you're going to change. And it's not dependent on anybody else. It don't matter what your mama think. It don't matter what your coworkers think. It don't matter what your siblings think. It don't matter what your children think. It don't matter. They have nothing to do with it. This decision is yours and yours alone.
There's this thing about people and they talk about manifesting. It's fucking real, man. When you figure out who you are and what you want to do and you devote your life to it like a maniac, like you're all in on this thing and you manifest, most of these people end up doing what they say they're going to do and being who they say they're going to become. And there's no excuses. There's no fucking days off. There's no not willing to grind and everybody's against me and this didn't happen for me because of this and that and all this whining and put the ass bullshit that a lot of people do these days. It's these people who dive in and they're hardcore and they're focused and they know what they want. They know who they are and they lay out these short-term goals and this roadmap on how to get there. Most of those people make it.
Is what I call the only belief that matters, which is that if I put time and energy into getting better at something, I will actually get better. That is a belief that will align your behaviors because at the end of the day, instead of, like I said, going through and finding all the self-limiting beliefs, just start layering on these empowering beliefs. So 1, you can get better at anything at any time. So putting time and energy into getting better at something will reward you with actual skill set, and skill set has utility. Now, if you believe that and you think of yourself as the learner, as you encounter a limiting belief, I can never do that, I'm not a good dancer, I can't sing, whatever the thing is that you tell yourself, then it just becomes a question of, well, if I know that I can get better at anything, the question is, do I want to put time into getting better at this thing? And if I don't want to spend time getting better at this thing, then don't BS myself. Don't say I'm just not good at that. Just say, I don't care enough about that thing to want to put in the energy to try and get better. This is the key. Once I realized that I could get better at anything, it dawned on me that how I spend my time is a spiritual consideration. And I didn't want to die with potential that I failed to turn into skill set. That to me, that speaks to me. How much of my potential can I actually turn into skill set and get good at this stuff and push and grow and improve? Like that to me is just this incredibly intoxicating loop. So for me, the discipline, the confidence, all of that comes from recognizing the human animal. Nothing special about me. The human animal is capable of extraordinary change. I'm gonna have to put time and energy into doing it, but I'm capable of getting this change. Therefore, I can do anything I set my mind to. Therefore, it really matters what I choose to spend my time on. Therefore, I want to put structure and discipline in my life so that I can move forward on things that excite me, that matter to me, because I really can have this big crazy dream that I'm thinking of. So my discipline is really born of my desire to have that thing, coupled with my belief that I can actually get there. Desire and belief. Get those two things right, and the discipline will take care of itself.
Inserting empowering beliefs and breaking down the limiting beliefs, because nothing is more destructive to success than limiting beliefs. It's like having a governor on a Ferrari. Just imagine you have the sleekest Ferrari with 500 horsepower, 12 valves, 12 cylinders, 4 valves per cylinder. But if the governor's on the engine stopping the flow of gas, the car ain't going over 55. You can't exceed the capability of the governor, and you can't exceed the capability of your limiting belief. It stops you from charging forward when you should and causes you to move backwards when you shouldn't. Empowering beliefs lead to a lifetime of joy and happiness, and disempowering beliefs lead to a life of quiet desperation. It's the way it is. You cannot rise above the level of your limiting beliefs. Crack those limiting beliefs. And the way you do it is very simple, because a belief is nothing but an idea that you're really certain about. Just imagine the belief is a tabletop. That's the idea. And the legs beneath the table are the references that make you think you're right. Because we take beliefs as the facts of life. So my belief was what? That my past will always haunt me, and my reference to any negative article or anything that happened, I'd say, you see, I'm right, my past will always haunt me. That's how a belief is built. But what happens is this, the truth is, and one of the fundamental tenets of neuro-linguistic programming is, we are not our past experiences. We are the capabilities and the resources that we've gleaned from them. Shit happens to people. You make huge mistakes. But you're not those mistakes, you're not your bankruptcy, you're not your failure. What you are is the lessons that you've learned from that you can use now. You're the resources that you've gleaned from that you can use now. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And it's true. You go back to any belief that you have, and you look at it from a different angle with different resources in you, unconditional love, confidence, clarity, certainty, and your beliefs all of a sudden take on an entirely new meaning. And it starts with the language that you apply to them. Is it the end or is it the beginning? Is God punishing me, or is God giving me the opportunity of a lifetime? It's language. And these beliefs that we have, because they're below the surface, we take them as facts of life. And they're not. They're just beliefs.
You're fighting an old belief system that's been there for 38 years or 30 years or 25 years, and there's trillions of connections that support this old belief and experiences and life that's gone into believing that. As soon as you start to try to believe something new, you're going to hear this little voice. Frankenstein activates and goes, that's not true. You don't believe that. You believe that people who are famous are blank. And you're going to have this little battle initially. Why? Let's go to why. Because our brain's responsibility is for safety first, safety for spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, financial safety first. So anything that it deems might hurt you, okay, it basically deletes or distorts, it puts a block on motivation. But secondly, energy conservation. So as soon as you start doing work that requires mental or emotional or physical capital, your brain says, well, what are you doing? Like, no, we already have the pattern for that. Just go with the old pattern that's been reinforced. It's true, go with that. So you have to override that pattern. So you want to listen to the negative self-talk or the inner critic says, that's not true. You don't really believe that. That'll never happen for you. You're not earning that. You don't weigh that. You're not really in love with her and her. Whenever we are looking to change an old pattern, the first sign that it's working is resistance. So resistance isn't a stop sign, resistance is a go sign.
Money, muscles, and self-mastery. Why is that important? Because I truly believe that if you have when I say muscles, I mean your health, your fitness, right? You can live longer. You're not going to be medicated and feeling all fucked up. And then money, because you need money for the paying your bills, for the financial freedom that you want and deserve. And of course, self-mastery allows you to keep both. When you have developed into the higher version of yourself, you can keep the money and keep growing the money, and you won't squander it through self-sabotage. And when you focus on meaning and purpose, and you compound that with money, like, man, that's a great thing. And then when you focus on your health, you learn skills and traits. Like it is a very powerful thing to know that you can be so disciplined, so consistent, you can be so focused that over time you can burn fat, put on muscle, and change the shape and the structure and the composition of your body, man. That gives you a high level of confidence. And when you find yourself that you're fucked and you're living this life of like waking up late, wearing the same clothes, not hydrating, not eating right, not being a productive member of society, feeling guilty and shame and regret about it, and then having anxiety and depression, eating packaged foods, binge watching shit, social media, TV, pornography, like the cycle does repeat, right? and then blaming because, well, other people have some advantage. No one has an advantage. Every fucking person has had a tough life, motherfucker. And at some point, you have to become an active and willing participant in the saving of your own ass. Like, no one is going to gallop in on a horse and save you. Like, there is no knight on a white horse that's going to come in and save your ass. Like, you are your own knight in shining armor.
How many times do you have to hear, if nothing changes, nothing changes? Right? We all have heard this. I don't even know where it comes from. I probably heard that first when I was 10 years old. If nothing changes, nothing changes. And yet, somehow we expect things to change. We expect things to change. You think you're going to get in better shape. You think you're going to get more money. You think your relationship is going to improve. You think you're going to get promoted. You think you're going to get a raise. You think the world is going to get better without you doing anything. But it isn't. Nothing is going to change unless you change what you're doing. Change the junk food that you're eating. Change the time that you wake up. Change what you do when you get out of bed. Change what you do with your time. That's what you need to do. You have to change some things or nothing will change. So make changes and start little. Get up a little bit earlier. Get a workout done. It doesn't have to be epic. It doesn't have to be epic. You don't have to do a 3-hour leg day. But get up and get something done. And how about you plan your day? How about you plan what you're going to do in the day? How about you bring your lunch to work with you so you don't have to eat a slice of pizza or a damn burger and fries? How about you change what time you get to work by showing up 10 minutes earlier? And you square your gear away, or you dial in your tools, or your desk, or your workspace. That's what you need to do. You make those little changes, those little habits that you have to change them, those bad habits. And you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised, the little things, the little changes, they add up and they become big things. Change the little things, and over time, you can change your life. But if you don't change what you're doing and how you do it, nothing else will change.